Sibling rivalry is real, folks. It's true. And I can speak to this dead on because I lived it, okay? I love my big sister dearly. Now, well, I might have loved her when we were kids too, but those waters are more than a little murky, okay? This is us. Hey, it was Indiana. It was the 80s. Flannel was in, okay? At any rate, I was probably like 10 in that picture. My sister was 14. Every morning, we would sit at the counter and eat our breakfast before we were sentenced to school for the day. And every morning, she would sit and pick on me constantly. And by constantly, I mean constantly. Not sure if it was the whole sibling rivalry thing or what, but I'm pretty sure her main goal was to get me in trouble. See, Stacy didn't know much about basketball, but she did know one thing, and that was the first foul doesn't get called. The second one gets called. So she would try anything and everything to get a reaction from me, punch her in the arm, whatever, that would sure to get the attention of mom and get me in trouble. So it was ear flicks, pinches, pokes in the rib, you name it. Did it work? No, it didn't. Her plan failed, and her plan failed for a very simple reason. I knew more about basketball than she did, and I knew our mom was a pretty good referee. So I knew that if I just sat there quietly and gently smiled through each flick, each pinch, each poke, not only would it drive her crazy that I wasn't retaliating in the way she wanted me to, but eventually mom would catch her, and she would be the one who ended up in trouble. So yes, sibling rivalry is real. However, it's not limited to siblings. On this edition of BrandBoost, we're going to talk about the sibling rivalries in the business world. They happen all the time. Two siblings in the same brand category taking on their brothers and sisters in a very public way through their marketing efforts. It's bold. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it may be something you're considering. If so, there are 3 aspects of such a campaign to keep in mind when this is your strategy. Follow these 3, could be the difference between success and failure. So personally, comparison campaigns, I've typically been against them. My strategy has always been to focus on creating your own distinctive, relevant brand identity rather than to promote a competitor through comparison. But I fully and freely admit that everything is situational. I've seen situations come up where we've considered those campaigns and not done them, where we've considered those campaigns and gone through with them. For instance, one personal injury attorney that we worked with was facing stiff competition from a firm that was literally buying market share. They were doing so quite aggressively. They were doing so with quite an off-color campaign that was off-putting to a lot of personal injury attorneys in the market, including my client, and they wanted to pursue some type of direct comparison campaign, which we considered, but went in another direction. Another case, we managed the marketing efforts for a community bank who utilized this strategy. It was actually focused more on comparing factual information, however, so it was rates on their money market where they were literally blowing the competition out of the water. So we spoke generically about the competition and stuck to the facts about the rates, and it ended up being a very successful campaign. So bottom line is I've used this strategy with some success. It's not my favorite thing, but like I said, everything's situational, so it may be something that you're considering to make a direct comparison in your marketing efforts. Because let's face it, if you're in business, chances are you face stiff competition, and chances are even greater that you are not the market leader. So you're trying to carve out a profitable niche, one that will gain you an upper hand. I get it. So if that's the goal, making a direct comparison between your business and a competitor is something to consider. It's not a bad strategy, but it does come with risks. Now, it's nothing new. This has been around forever. It's a tactic that's been around since, I think it made the biggest splash in 1975 when Pepsi took on Coke in the very in-your-face Pepsi challenge that was played out in mainstream media. Today we see these comparative wars waged via social media, among other places. For example, Popeye's entanglement with Chick-fil-A and Wendy's in the battle of the chicken sandwich in 2019. That focused mainly on Twitter. But some of these campaigns are successful, some fail. Some are just plain funny, like that chicken sandwich thing. So what's the difference between success and failure? Well, we're going to go over these three aspects that you need to keep in mind if you're going to create this type of campaign. But first things first, they all center around one thing. All right, positioning. Before I go over those three, understand that at the very heart of the comparative campaign is this key word, positioning. Your goal when making a direct comparison with your brand and another is simple. You're trying to reposition your competitor's offering in the mind of the consumer using this direct comparison. You do that effectively and you succeed. You fail to do it, not so much success. Failing to reposition your competitor in a way that helps your offering gain momentum and an upper hand, well, it essentially means that you spent dollars promoting the other guy. You might as well just write him a check. So let's look at these three aspects and keep these in mind when you're making a direct comparison in your marketing effort to another brand. Follow these three and you'll have a leg up. Fail to do that and like I said, you're just writing them a check. So 1, what is the distinctive advantage that your product or service has over the competing brand? 2, does that distinct advantage truly matter to people? In other words, is it culturally relevant to prospects who are not currently engaging with your offer? Is it relevant enough to move the needle toward your brand and away from theirs? That's really what we're after here. So you need to make sure that this distinct advantage is indeed an advantage and it's one that matters to people. And 3, when you have that advantage, you know it matters, then you have to communicate that distinctive advantage with incredible clarity in order to win the repositioning game. That is at the very heart of this strategy. Clarity is the key. Communicative clarity when presenting a very distinctive advantage is a must if you're going to effectively reposition your competitor in the mind of the consumer. Do it, and you've got a successful campaign. Fail to do it, and like I said, you're just writing them a check. So you want to talk marketing? You want to talk branding strategy? Send me an email at info@brandvisionmarketing.com or visit brandvisionmarketing.com and schedule a free discovery session. Thanks for watching this edition of Brand Boost, and we'll see you soon.